A woman was tasered after attempting to steal another's face mask for her child.
Ah.
This one's a doozy.
Oh,
Yeah, this deep dive comes from listener Harper. She's 34,
okay.
and she sent us this story. Well, she and her husband Marcus, who's 36,
Right.
they decided to tackle a backyard project during quarantine. You know how everyone was like doing all that DIY
Oh,
stuff?
yeah. Everyone I knew was suddenly building decks and baking bread. It was a whole thing.
Totally. So Harper and Marcus head to their local big box store, just a quick trip, to stock up on potting soil for their project.
Ah, the essential quarantine supplies.
Right. So they're loading up their cart, minding their own business, when this woman, Dibra, comes up to them. She's in her mid-40s, Harper says.
Okay.
And get this, she starts accusing them of hoarding potting soil.
No way. Seriously?
Seriously, even though they only had like 2 bags in their cart?
Wow, some people, right, like, was she the stereotypical Karen type?
Harper says not really, but her behavior.
Yeah.
Well, spot on, Karen.
I guess you can't always judge a book by its cover. So what happened? Did they just ignore her?
Well, Marcus, he's pretty blunt. He just tells her to fuck off.
Oh, wow. Straight to the point.
Right. Harper said she almost died laughing right there in the aisle.
I can only imagine. So what did Deborah do?
Well, Dibra is obviously not happy about being told off, but, eventually she storms off.
Okay.
Harper and Marcus figure that's the last they'll see of her. Oh, but they were wrong.
Uh-oh. I sense this is where things get really interesting.
This is where it gets wild. So they're heading towards checkout, and who do they see? Deborah again. But this time, she's harassing another customer, a young woman named Priya, who is 22.
What? Deborah's on a roll.
And Priya's wearing one of those neck gaiter face masks, the black ones, with the wolf teeth on them.
Oh, yeah. Those were pretty popular back then. I remember seeing those everywhere.
Yeah, they were a thing for a while. Well, Debra is not a fan. She starts giving Priya a hard time about the mask and trying to cut in front of her in line, claims she has to get her son Dylan, who's 6, home quickly.
The classic I'm in a hurry excuse. Did Priya let her cut?
Priya, no. She's having none of it. Super calm and collected, just politely refuses and keeps browsing the shelves.
Good for her, standing her ground.
Right. Debra, though. Debra does not give up.
Yeah.
So they both end up in the same checkout line, and, well, that's when things go from bad to worse.
Okay, I'm hooked. What happens in the checkout line?
So they get up to the cashier, and Debra just completely loses it. She starts demanding that Priya give her the wolf teeth mask for her son, Dylan.
Hold on, wait. She wants Priya to just give her the mask.
Yep. Starts saying things like, he needs it. It's obviously for boys anyway.
What? That's insane.
Right. It makes absolutely zero sense. But Priya, she's still totally calm. She just tells Debra, no, I'm not giving you my mask.
I'm kind of impressed by Priya's composure, honestly.
Yeah, she's handling this whole thing like a champ.
Yeah.
But Debra's not done. In a moment of what I can only describe as pure crazy, she reaches out and yanks Priya's mask right off her face.
Whoa. That's assault. What happened? Did someone intervene?
The entire checkout line just freezes. Everyone's in shock. Like nobody can believe what just happened.
Oh, I bet. The tension must have been so thick you could cut it with a knife.
Then Priya reaches into her purse.
Okay.
And she pulls out what looks like a
A
flashlight.
flashlight? I'm not sure how that's gonna...
But it's not a flashlight. It's a taser disguised as a flashlight. And before anyone can even react, CRCK.
No way. She tased Debra.
Tased her right there on the checkout line.
Wow. I mean, I'm not condoning violence, but wow.
Oh, it was pandemonium.
Yeah.
Debra's on the floor, screaming, crying, demanding to speak to the manager of the police, everyone. Little Dylan is screaming, the wolf lady killed my mom.
Oh, man. What a scene. Poor kid. Probably traumatized for life now. So what does Priya do?
Priya, she just stands there completely calm, like she didn't just tase someone.
Wow. Ice in her veins. So where are Harper and Marcus during all this?
They're watching the entire thing unfold, mouths agape, totally stunned. Then they just grab their plants, nod to an employee, and slip out of the store unnoticed in all the commotion.
Smart move. Get that potting soil and get out of there.
They jump in their car, and as they're pulling out of the parking lot,
Oh, tell me they start laughing.
they lose it. They're laughing so hard, they're crying. It's just, you can't make this stuff up.
Seriously, truth is stranger than fiction sometimes.
It's that kind of story where you're just like, did that really just happen?
Totally. So what was it about this whole crazy situation that made Harper and Marcus want to share it with us? Like, what's the takeaway here?
It really makes you think, doesn't it? I mean, for Harper and Marcus, it was this wild, unbelievable thing they witnessed. But for Priya and Debra, it was something real, something serious. It makes you think about how easily things can escalate, how a trip to the store can suddenly turn into, well, that.
Yeah, it's kind of a microcosm of everything that was going on back then. You had the pandemic anxieties, the entitlement, the conflict, and the bystanders like Harper and Marcus just trying to navigate it all.
And it makes you think about the aftermath, too. What happened to Debra after she got tased? Did she learn anything from it?
Uh-huh.
And Priya? Did she become some kind of local legend, the wolf lady of the big box store?
I mean, it's a pretty good story to tell at parties.
Right. And it really makes you wonder about how these seemingly isolated incidents ripple outwards. Who knows how this encounter affected Debra in the long run? Or Priya's sense of safety? It's a lot to unpack, isn't it?
It is. It's a reminder that even the most ordinary things, like going to the store for potting soil, can turn into these really charged moments.
And that sometimes the best way to cope with the absurdity of it all is to just laugh.
Yeah, sometimes laughter's the only thing that makes sense.
Well, on that note, let's wrap up this wild tale from Harper and Marcus. Looks like their quiet beach town isn't so quiet after all.
Definitely not. Thanks for sharing this one. It's a story I won't soon forget.
And to our listeners, thanks for joining us for this deep dive.